There's no room 209. That's what they told me when I started working the night shift at Marrow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. But they lied. It was my second week on the job, and I already regretted saying yes to the night shift. The hallways of Marrow Hill were too quiet after sunset, too still. The air felt thicker at night, the overhead fluorescence buzzed louder, and the silence between the patient wails stretched just a little too long. I was a float nurse, bouncing between wings as needed. When the call came through about a sudden transfer from another facility, no one knew where it had come from. Just that a man, mid-30s, named Isaac Vale, was being placed under suicide watch and required isolation. I checked the room assignment twice. Room 209. My thumb hovered over the intercom button. 209? I asked the charge nurse. Is that a mistake? He gave me a long, unreadable look. Just follow the protocol. He's not to be moved, not to be visited, not even checked on. He tapped the patient chart. He checks on you. The second floor was usually sealed off. Old wing, asbestos probably. But that night, the elevator stopped on two by itself. The hallway lights flickered as I stepped out. Half the bulbs were burned out. The rest buzzed like dying insects. Room numbers lined the corridor. 203, 205, 207. Then the hallway bent slightly, and there it was, room 209. The door was newer than the others, fresh paint, reinforced glass, industrial lock. No patient name on the tag, just, "Warning, do not unlatch." I don't remember unlocking it. I don't remember stepping inside, but I do remember the cold. He sat in the far corner, knees pulled to his chest, facing the wall. "Mr. Vale," I said softly, "I'm your night nurse. My name's—" "Doesn't matter," he said. "Names are how it finds you." He didn't turn around, didn't blink. Just stared at the blank corner like it was whispering to him. I checked the room. No contraband, no sheets, no writing utensils, just concrete walls, a drain in the floor, and a flickering light that buzzed slightly out of sync with the rest of the building. I turned to leave. "Don't answer it," he said suddenly, "no matter how many times it knocks." It happened at 3:33 a.m. Always that time. Always 3 knocks. I was at the nurse's station when I heard it. Knock. 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 I assumed it was a janitor, or maybe the new psych tech screwing around. I checked the cameras. Every room was empty. Every hallway. Except the one on floor 2. In front of room 209, the camera feed glitched. But between the static, I saw a shape. Tall, thin, 2 long limbs, head tilted. And it wasn't knocking on room 209. It was knocking from inside. The next day, I asked about Isaac's transfer documents. There weren't any. No paper trail, no emergency referral, no family contact. Not even an insurance code. It was like he appeared out of nowhere. When I pressed the charge nurse, he finally snapped, "There is no patient in 209. There is no room 209. Don't go back there." But I saw him. I talked to him. He leaned in close, his voice like gravel. "That room's been sealed for over 30 years, after the last time, when the walls bled." I found a tape recorder hidden behind the files, a faded label, MHP-209-May 1994. It was just static for the first few seconds, then a voice, hoarse, afraid. He said his name was Isaac Vale. He talks about shadows, about something in the walls. He hasn't eaten in days, says he's not hungry, says the thing feeds for him. Another voice, distorted. "It's listening. Even now." Click. He scratched something into the wall, not with his hands, with his teeth. We sealed the room, but we can still hear the knocking. That night I went back. I shouldn't have. God help me, I should have walked away, but I needed to know. Room 209 was colder than before. The air smelled like old copper and mold. Isaac was standing now, his back to me. "Who's in the room with you?" I asked. He smiled, wide, unnatural, too many teeth. "No one anymore." I let it out. On the far wall, etched into the concrete, I saw words, not scratched, not painted. Bitten. It keeps what it finds. Back at the nurse's station, I locked the door. I was shaking. The feed from room 209 was blank, not glitched, erased. Then the knock came again, but this time from the wall behind me. Knock, knock, knock. I turned slowly. No one there. But a thin line of dark fluid was dripping from the corner of the ceiling, forming a symbol on the floor. Something circular, like a spiral, or an eye. I tried to file a report. No one listened. The administrators swore there was no room 209. They walked me to floor 2 themselves. The hallway was gone, bricked up, fresh drywall. I pointed at the place where the door had been. Right there, room 209, Isaac Vale. But there was nothing. They gave me 2 weeks' leave, said I was stressed, delusional, until they found what was in my locker. I don't own a Polaroid, never have. But taped inside my locker were 7 Polaroids, aged and curling. Each showed me standing in room 209, staring at Isaac. Only, Isaac wasn't in all of them. In the last photo, I was alone in the room, facing the corner. My face was wrong. My mouth was too wide, my eyes all black. I tracked down an old doctor who used to work at Marrow Hill before it shut down the West Wing. His hands shook as he lit a cigarette. Room 209 wasn't just a padded cell, he said. It was a containment room. For who? He looked at me like I was stupid. Not for who. For what? He pulled out an old newspaper article from 1994. 5 missing after mental patient attack. Rooms sealed off. But the photo showed something strange in the background, in the shadows. A figure, watching. I haven't been back to Marrow Hill since they fired me. But a few nights ago, I heard it again. The knocking, 3:33 a.m. Then I saw it through the peephole in my apartment door. A person standing perfectly still, wearing a hospital gown, head tilted, too tall. Then he knocked. Knock, 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 and whispered through the door. "You forgot me." The voice recorder I kept as evidence started playing on its own last night. Isaac's voice came through, clearer than ever. They built room 209 to trap it. But the room doesn't hold it. It holds you. The moment you walk in, you don't leave. Not really. I tried burning the tape. It only melted. Now I hear his voice in other places, my phone, the radio, even in my dreams. I broke into the hospital last week. Had to know. Had to prove I wasn't crazy. The second floor, still gone. But the cameras still work. I watched the archived footage from the night Isaac arrived. At 3:33 a.m., the elevator doors open. Out steps me, not Isaac. Me. Eyes wide, mouth slack, no uniform, no ID, just a hospital gown. I walked into room 209, and the door slammed shut behind me. If you're watching this, it means I found a way to get it out. To warn you, don't look for room 209. Don't answer the knocks. Don't believe what your eyes show you, because if you do, it will find you. And when it does, you won't even know you've let it in, because it won't wear your face. There's no room 209. That's what they'll tell you. But if you're still awake at 3:33 a.m., check the door. Listen close. And if you hear 3 knocks, don't answer. You said, "Can you compress the story to make it fit into 11 labs?" ChatGPT said, "Absolutely." Here's a compressed version of The Last Patient of Room 209, trimmed for clarity and length while preserving the eerie tension and story arc. This version is suitable for 11 labs and should fit within typical voiceover length constraints for a Yuan 10 to 15-minute segment. The Last Patient of Room 209, compressed version. When I started the night shift at Marrow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, they told me, "There's no room 209. They lied. My second week in, I was assigned to monitor a new patient, Isaac Vale, mid-30s, transferred under suicide watch. The room listed 209. I asked if it was a mistake. The charge nurse just said, "He checks on you." The second floor had been sealed off for years, but that night the elevator stopped on floor 2 by itself. I stepped into a dim, buzzing corridor. There it was, room 209. No name, just a warning on the door. "Do not unlatch." I don't remember unlocking it, but I must have. Inside, Isaac sat in the corner, knees to chest, whispering to the wall. When I introduced myself, he muttered, "Names are how it finds you." Before I left, he added, "Don't answer it, no matter how many times it knocks." That night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., 3 slow knocks echoed from nowhere. I checked the monitors. The feed to 209 glitched, but between static I saw a tall figure with 2 long limbs, knocking from inside. I demanded Isaac's transfer papers. There were none. No record of him anywhere. The charge nurse finally told me, "That room was sealed 30 years ago. After the last time, the walls bled." I found an old tape labeled 209, May 1994. Static. Then a voice. "He calls himself Isaac Vale, says the shadows feed for him." We sealed the room, but we still hear the knocking. I should have walked away, but I went back. Isaac stood facing the wall. "Who's in here with you?" I asked. He smiled. "No one anymore. I let it out." Words were etched into the concrete in bite marks. It keeps what it finds. Later that night, I heard knocking behind me. Something black seeped from the ceiling, forming a spiral on the floor. They said I was delusional, gave me time off. But in my locker, I found Polaroids of me in 209, even though I never took them. In the last one, I was alone, mouth stretched, eyes black. An old doctor told me 209 wasn't a room. It was a containment cell. Not for a patient, for something else. A newspaper clipping from 1994 reported 5 missing staff. In the photo's background, barely visible, was a figure, watching. I broke into the hospital one last time. The second floor, bricked off, but the archived footage still existed. At 3:33 a.m., the elevator opened. I stepped out. Not Isaac. Me. In a hospital gown. No expression. I walked into room 209, and the door closed behind me. If you're hearing this, I found a way to warn you. Don't look for room 209. Don't answer the knocks. Because when it finds you, it wears your face.